Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment. I want to give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty serious topic for you guys here. Today we want you guys to stick around for, so please make sure you go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, I know all of you are fairly aware at this point that we've been making our feelings crystal clear on the Ime Udoka situation. As y'all know, Ime Udoka's name reemerged in the news after the firing of Brooklyn Nets head coach, Steve Nash. We subsequently heard that Ime Udoka was one of the leading candidates to get the coaching job for the Brooklyn Nets. Then all of a sudden, that news kind of just died down and simmered down, and we haven't heard much from it. Then, I believe it was yesterday, we produced a show where we heard that strong voices are now beginning to try to influence Joe Tsai, the Brooklyn Nets governor, to go in a different direction in terms of hiring a new coach and not hire Ime Udoka. I expressed my feelings on that. I made it crystal clear, and I said, wait a minute. I said, due to the coverage that this situation has gotten and the one-sidedness of the coverage, it has created a situation where now they're creating a place where this guy cannot gain employment ever again in the NBA. Just yesterday, I was listening to a segment from, Club Shay Shay with, oh my God, his name, John Sally. And he asked him this very question about Ime Udoka, and he said he doesn't believe that Ime Udoka will ever get a job again in the NBA. It's crazy. So that's what he said. Now, today while doing some research, I found an article from fadeawayworld.net that via Mark Stein that had some pretty serious information in it. So before we go too far, what I want to do is now let's get into this article here. So it starts off with the headline. Mark Stein says Ime Udoka had to forfeit half of his $4 million salary as a part of his suspension. For much of 2022, Ime Udoka was making the headlines for all the right reasons. He had masterminded a turnaround for the ages in the first season as a head coach, as he led the Boston Celtics to their first NBA Finals appearance since 2010, despite a terrible start that season. It seemed like the Celtics were set at the position for the next year, for the years to come, but everything fell apart in disastrous fashion. Udoka was handed a season-long suspension by the Celtics a few months back for improper conduct, as he reportedly violated the team's guidelines by entering into an improper relationship with a female staffer on the team. Mark Stein says Ime Udoka had to forfeit half of his $4 million salary. We still don't know everything regarding the situation, but more details are emerging as time goes by. NBA insider Mark Stein recently revealed on his Substacks that Udoka had to forfeit half of his $4 million salary as a part of his suspension. That is a big dent in his wallet, although he still got $2 million. So no one is particularly feeling sorry for him. He also seemed to be at the front of the line to be the next, to be the new coach for the Nets. After they parted ways with Steve Nash, but some roadblocks have emerged on that front. Stein reported Nets owner Joe Tsai is being urged to avoid hiring Udoka by some strong voices. There was also a report that NBA Commissioner Adam Silver might have stepped in to stop the Nets from hiring Ime Udoka. So you heard what the article had to say there. If this report is true, it means that Ime Udoka was punished by the Boston Celtics for the situation that occurred that he stupidly involved himself in. Subsequently, he was suspended for 1 year, and his salary was cut in two. In addition to that, his reputation took a massive hit. One, for his actions, which we can't forget the fact that Ime Udoka put himself into this situation. And number two, the coverage that followed, the one-sidedness of it. And how do I know this was a one-sided coverage? Because just this weekend, Jalen Rose was forced to make a public apology on ESPN during one of their live shows for daring to say, hey, wait a minute, what about the other person that was involved in the situation? Why isn't their identity being made public? And he subsequently had to go out there and make an apology immediately for even daring to bringing up that point. So now, where does Ime Udoka find himself? Well, he finds himself currently unemployed. And it looks like he's being punished for something that he was already punished for. So if Ime Udoka was suspended for a year, his reputation took a hit. He lost half of his salary. All of those things have occurred. You're not telling me that in addition to him losing half of his salary, he shouldn't get a new job as well? Why? 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 Why doesn't the guy deserve another shot? Why? Why? And this is what I was saying yesterday. If some of you saw that show, what I said was, for the people that were championing this thing and, you know, wishing this thing to happen, I said, I hope you guys are satisfied. You now have what you want, whatever that thing is. The guy who most of us thought was going to be the next head coach for the Brooklyn Nets is looking like not only will he not get that job, it looks like he may not get another job at all. Then what was the purpose of all of that punishment that he went through with the Boston Celtics? You're telling me that what happened there is enough for Ime Udoka to never coach in the NBA ever again? Really? Is that what we're saying? To me, it's unbelievable. And at this particular point, I'm not sure if he's going to get this job as the Brooklyn Nets head coach. I'm not sure. Initially, when the news broke, I was very, very confident that he would get hired by the Nets because it made a lot of sense, right? The team was struggling, especially on the defensive side of the floor. And if you look at what he was able to accomplish in his first year with the Boston Celtics, it would make sense. And when you have a coach like that in the open market and your team has these type of ailments, you go for a coach like that. It makes sense. But now it seems like he's not going to get his job. He's not going to get this job because things really died down. And, you know, we're now finding out that he lost half of his salary. So the next question is like, okay, so what's next? Is this it for Ime Udoka? Is John Sally right that this guy will never get to coach again in the NBA? I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. This story is just it's evolving with the coming days. So the question to you guys is, what do you think about this report? Do you think that Ime Udoka deserves another coaching job in the NBA, or do you think, hey, listen, you know, an offense like that is unforgivable? There's certain things you can forgive, and this one can never be forgiven, and no organization should pick him up, and everyone should steer clear of him. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we catch you guys on the next show. Peace.